This is a list of American films that are scheduled to be released in 2022. The 2022 release schedule includes numerous notable films that were originally scheduled for release in 2020 and 2021 but were postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Plot: recently widowed Dr. Nate Samuels and his teenage daughters, Meredith and Nora, arrive at the Mopani Reserve in South Africa for a vacation. Nate reunites with his old friend, Martin Battles, a biologist and Mopani manager, who introduced Nate and his wife. Martin takes Nate and the girls to the village where Nate's wife grew up. Nate confides to Martin his guilt over being distant following his and his wife's separation, after which she developed terminal cancer. The trip is to reconnect with his daughters. The next day, Martin and the family tour the reserve's restricted areas. Martin shows them a local lion pride and notices that one is injured. At a nearby Tsonga community, Martin discovers most of the population is dead. Suspecting a rogue, man-killing lion is responsible, Martin rushes back to report the finding. Nate encounters an injured Tsonga man on the road but is unable to save him. Martin is mauled as he tracks the lion. It then ambushes Nate, who takes cover in the car. Meredith speeds away, but crashes into a tree, stranding them. Martin radios Nate on a walkie-talkie, warning him to stay away, saying the lion is using Martin as bait to lure the others out. As the radio is out of range to contact help, Nate assembles a tranquilizer rifle. He confronts the lion, hoping to subdue it long enough to recover Martin and trek back to civilization. The lion attacks and Meredith takes advantage of the distraction to save Martin. Nora stabs the lion with a tranquilizer dart after it knocks the gun from Nate's hands, causing the lion to retreat. Meredith brings Martin back to the car and Nate treats his wound. As night falls, the now recovering Martin speculates the lion went rogue after poachers killed its pride. Soon after, the poachers arrive and initially agree to transport the group to the village in exchange for payment. Tensions rise after the poachers spot Martin, an avid anti-poacher, inside the car. The lion attacks and scatters the poachers, killing most of them. Nate maneuvers his way past the lion and finds the poachers' truck keys. Back at the car, Martin holds the lion off long enough to allow the sisters to escape, though Meredith sustains a deep laceration to her side. The car falls into a ravine and Martin sacrifices himself by setting off an explosion from the leaking gasoline, severely burning the lion. Nate starts the truck and races away with Meredith and Nora but has to stop the car before they run out of fuel. They leave the car and start walking to find an abandoned schoolhouse nearby. At an abandoned schoolhouse the poachers used as their base, Nate treats Meredith's wound, then forages for water. The lion appears and stalks the girls, but Nate returns and scares it off. Locking his daughters inside a room, Nate promises to return after subduing the lion. Luring it into an opening, Nate attracts the local lion pride which Martin helped raise. In the ensuing struggle, the lion mauls Nate, nearly killing him, until the pride patriarchs intervene and kill the rogue lion. A Mopani worker arrives and saves Nate as he falls unconscious. Awakening in a hospital, a recovering Nate tells his daughters he loves them. Some time later, the three return to the preserve, this time as a united family, and recreate the photo Nate's late wife took of herself next to her favorite tree. Cast: Idris Elba as Dr. Nate Samuels, a widowed husband. Iana Hawley as Meredith Mare Samuels, the elder daughter of Nate, who is rebellious and argumentative. Leah Sava Jeffries as Nora Samuels, the younger daughter of Nate, who is more sensitive. Charlton Copley as Martin Battles, a wildlife biologist who is Nate's old friend. Production. In September 2020, it was announced that Idris Elba would star in a new Universal Pictures film titled Beast, based on an original idea by Jamie Primack Sullivan and directed by Baltasar Kormaker. In June 2021, Charlton Copley, Iana Hawley and Leah Sava Jeffries joined the cast. Filming commenced on June 1, 2021, in South Africa and lasted for 10 weeks. Shooting occurred in the rural provinces of Limpopo and Northern Cape, as well as in Cape Town. Stephen Price composed the film score. Backlot Music has released the soundtrack. Release: Beast was released on August 19, 2022, by Universal Pictures. The film was released on VOD on September 8, 2022, followed by a Blu-ray and DVD release on October 11, 2022. The movie was released on Peacock on October 7, 2022. Reception. Box office. Beast grossed $31.8 million in the United States and Canada, and $27.2 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $59.1 million, against a production budget of $36 million in North America. Beast was released alongside Dragon Ball Super, Superhero and was projected to gross around $10 million from 3,743 theaters in its opening weekend. The film made $4.3 million on its first day, including $925,000 from Thursday night previews. It went on to debut at $11.6 million, finishing second behind Superhero. The largest demographic was African American at 34%, followed by 26% Caucasian, 23% Hispanic, and 10% Asian. Nearly half the opening weekend audience was over 35 years old, and a third was over 45. In its second weekend, the film made $4.9 million, finishing third.